Continuing to the model 5, now we'll discuss about lightweight concrete. Lightweight concrete is a special concrete which weighs lighter than the conventional concrete. That's why it is called as lightweight concrete. The density of concrete is less as compared to conventional concrete. That's why it is called as lightweight concrete. To reduce the self-weight of the structure, this concrete is introduced. So the density of this lightweight concrete is considerably low, like it varies from 300 kg per meter cube to 1850 kg per meter cube when compared to normal conventional concrete, and that is varies between 2200 kg per meter cube to 2600 kg per meter cube. So you can see here the range of the density of the lightweight concrete is less as compared to normal concrete. So there are the types of lightweight concrete are lightweight aggregate concrete, aerated concrete, no fines concrete. In lightweight aggregate concrete, they'll use the lightweighted aggregates. Aerated concrete, they'll introduce the air or a gas or foam in the concrete. And in no fines concrete, as it defines, no fine means they in this concrete they won't use the fine aggregate. It will be only mixture of cement, coarse aggregate and water. Now I'll explain these three in thoroughly. Okay, further. So this lightweight concrete, lightweight aggregate concrete is mostly used in UK, France and USA, and this aerated concrete is mostly used in Scandinavian countries, and no fines concrete is less popular. This no fines concrete is less popular. The advantage, so why we use this is, the advantage of this lightweight concrete is it reduces the dead load of the building. As I told, it reduces the self-weight or dead load of the building when you are using the lightweighted, where the density is low. So it is easy, as the light is less, so it is easy to handle and hence reduces the cost of transportation and handling. So as it weighs less, so that's why it reduces the transportation cost as well as handling cost. So it improves the workability. The lightweight concrete improves the workability, and it has the relatively low thermal conductivity. Comparatively it is more durable but less resistance to abrasion. It is less resistance to abrasion force. So it has the applications in pre-stressed concretes, high-rise buildings and shell roofs. You can use this lightweight concrete in pre-stressed concrete, high-rise buildings and shell roofs, because in high-rise building it will require the less density, it should convey the less weight to the foundation. So that's why it is used in high-rise buildings as for the construction of partition wall or other building components, and it is also used in shell roofs. So the good resistance, it has the good resistance to freezing and thawing action when compared to conventional concrete. That's why it is sometimes used in bridges also, construction of bridges and poles, because it has the good resistance to freezing and thawing as compared to conventional concrete. So it helps in disposal of industrial wastes like fly ash, clinker, slag, etc. So these are the advantages and applications of lightweight concrete. So the principle behind this lightweight concrete is the making of lightweight concrete is by inducing the air in concrete. The making the lightweight concrete is by inducing the air in concrete. To achieve this principle practically, there are three different ways. As I told, the one you can use the lightweighted conventional mineral aggregates by cellular porous aggregates. Here, to achieve this principle practically, you have to go for three ways. That is, the first one is by replacing the conventional mineral aggregates by cellular porous aggregates. That is lightweight aggregate concrete. So that's what it is called as lightweight aggregate concrete. Here you will replace the mineral aggregates, conventional mineral aggregates, by the cellular porous aggregates, as I told just now. you'll use here light-weighted aggregates. That is the first type, that is lightweight aggregate concrete. And next one is by incorporating the air or gas bubbles in the concrete. Here they'll use the some admixtures to induce the gas or foam into the concrete. So that is why that is what they call it as, by incorporating the air or gas bubbles in the concrete, that is called as aerated concrete. In aerated concrete you can create the foam or gas. Next is by omitting the sand from the concrete. As I told, here they'll eliminate the fine aggregates. They'll use only cement, coarse aggregate and sand. That's why it is called as no fines aggregate. No fines aggregate. They'll eliminate the fine aggregate in this. So here you can see the groups of lightweight concrete. Here no fines aggregate, you can use here gravels, crushed stone for the coarse aggregate, where you eliminate the fine aggregate. So in coarse aggregate you can use go for gravel, crushed stone, coarse clinker, sintered pulverized fuel ash, expanded clay or shale, expanded slate, foam slag. And for lightweight aggregate concrete, same, the clinker, foam slag, expanded clay, expanded shale, where you use this as the lightweight aggregate. And next, aerated. In aerate, that is chemical aerating and foaming mixture. The chemical aerating aluminum powder method can be used, and hydrogen peroxide and bleaching powder method. In foaming mixture, performed foam and air entrained foam, the groups of lightweight concrete. So this lightweight concrete, first we'll go through the one by one, that is lightweight aggregate concrete and no fines concrete, aerated concrete. So first we'll go through the lightweight aggregate concrete. So basically there are two types of lightweight aggregate, that is natural aggregate and artificial aggregate. So natural lightweight aggregates are less as preferred to artificial aggregate. The less preferred as compared to artificial aggregates. These natural aggregates are natural lightweight aggregates are less preferred or less used as compared to artificial aggregates, because in artificial aggregate they'll manufacture those aggregate as per the requirements. So that's why these artificial aggregates are more preferred. So important natural aggregates are pumice and scoria. The artificial aggregates are usually produced by expanding the rocks such as shale, slate, perlite, vermiculite and all. So this vermiculite is nothing but which is produced from the worms. The types of aggregates decide the density of concrete. Exactly how you are using which type of aggregate you are using, then depend on that the density will vary. If it is the less weight aggregate you are using, then the density will be less. So like that, density of concrete is low. Density of concrete is as low as 300 kg per meter cube can be achieved. In this lightweight concrete, you can achieve the density of concrete up to 300 kg per meter cube. The compressive strength varies from 0.3 Newton per mm square to 14 Newton per mm square. The compressive strength of this lightweight aggregates varies from 0.3 MPa to 40 MPa, that is megapascal or Newton per mm square. So here you can see some of the aggregates, natural aggregates and artificial aggregates. The natural aggregates are pumice, diatomite, scoria, volcanic cinders, sawdust, rice husk. These are the natural lightweight aggregates. Rice husk, sawdust, you can easily get this. And artificial aggregates are artificial cinders, coke breeze, foam slag, bloated slag, clay, expanded shales and slate, sintered fly ash, exfoliated vermiculite, expanded perlite, and thermocol beds. These are the artificial lightweight aggregates. So the properties of lightweight aggregates are: the pumice and scoria are volcanic rocks having densities between 500 kg per meter cube to 900 kg per meter cube. The pumice and scoria are the volcanic rocks. These are the natural lightweight aggregates having the densities between 500 kg per meter cube to 900 kg per meter cube. These will be basically will get from volcanic rocks. So natural aggregates have good insulating properties but subjected to high absorption and shrinkage. These natural aggregates will have the good insulating properties, but these are higher absorption. There is a higher absorption, hence shrinkage is also more. Next, the properties of lighted aggregate, that is continued to that. Among artificial aggregates, perlite and exfoliated vermiculite give the lowest possible dense concrete. That is, perlite give the density from 30 kg per meter cube to 240 kg per meter cube, and vermiculite is varies from 60 kg per meter cube to 130 kg per meter cube. Perlite is nothing but it is an amorphous volcanic glass formed by the hydration of obsidian. That is, the perlite is nothing but amorphous volcanic glass which is formed by the hydration of obsidian, and vermiculite is nothing but it is which is formed by using worms. So that is what. So these are artificial aggregates, so which gives the lowest as compared to other artificial aggregates. These two gives the lowest possible density of concrete. So the lightweight aggregates have higher apparent specific gravity than the conventional aggregates. That is, the lightweight aggregates have the higher apparent specific gravity than the conventional aggregates. Properties of artificial aggregates are less variable than natural aggregates. These are less variable, where the natural aggregates are more variable as per depend on the temperature or properties of that aggregates. So lightweight aggregates have a tendency to absorb more water than the conventional aggregates. This is one of the disadvantage of this lightweight aggregate, that is, it absorbs the more water as compared to normal conventional concrete or aggregates. So semi-lightweight concretes with normal fine aggregates and lighter coarse aggregate is better than all lightweight concrete. So using the semi-lightweight concrete, which consists the normal fine aggregate and lighter coarse aggregate, is better when compared to all types of lightweight aggregates. So if you are going for lightweight concrete, then you have to go for this semi-lightweight, which is better than all type of lightweight concrete. In case of RCC structures, increase the cover by 10 mm extra to avoid corrosion of steel. In case of if you are using in RCC structure, this lightweight concrete you are using in RCC structure, then you have to increase the cover by 10 mm to avoid the corrosion of steel. Lightweight aggregates have hard surface. Add pozzolanic materials to improve the workability. So this will having the hard surface, it will the workability will be reduced. So that's why you can add the pozzolanic materials to improve the workability. So these are the properties of lightweight aggregate. Here you can see the perlite. This is the image of perlite. This is the exfoliated vermiculite. These are the images of perlite and vermiculite aggregates. This structural lightweight aggregate concrete. So how it should be? The structural lightweight concrete, the concrete which is lightweight and has sufficient compressive strength. The structural lightweight concrete should be which is light in weight and has the sufficient compressive strength, because it is also more important, that is, you will use for that only. So it should have the sufficient compressive strength. 28 days compressive strength of more than 17 MPa and 28 days dry density not exceeding 1850 kg per meter cube can be used when you are going to use or apply this lightweight concrete. The compressive strength should be more than 17 Newton per mm square, and dry density should not exceeding the 1850 kg per meter cube. So generally this lightweight concrete has normal fines aggregates and lighter coarse aggregates, as I have told now. The workability is less due to water absorption by the aggregates. So again you have to go for increasing the workability. So drying shrinkage is more and less thermal expansion than the normal concrete. Here the drying shrinkage is more because of absorption property and less thermal expansion than the normal concrete. It is good in soundproofing, sound absorption and thermal insulation. This is the one of the best advantage of this lightweight concrete, that is it is good in soundproofing, sound absorption and thermal insulation. Economical when compared to normal concrete and has good fire resistant property than conventional concrete. This is also one of the main advantage of this lightweight concrete, that is it is good it has the good fire resistance as compared to conventional concrete. So in fire hazarding structures it will more used. So the mixed design of this LWC, that is lightweight concrete, is difficult to decide water cement ratio. In this it is difficult to decide water cement ratio as this is absorbing the water, so due to variable water absorption by aggregates, right? So generally it is done by trial mixing. So pre-saturation of aggregate is done to avoid excessive absorption of water by aggregates. So to avoid the excessive absorption of water by the aggregates will be pre-saturated. If it is pre-saturated before using, then there will not be any excessive absorption of water by those aggregates. That's why it has to go for pre-saturation of aggregates. Next, concrete with saturated aggregates will have higher density, which is bad in freezing and thawing action. The concrete with saturated aggregates will have higher density, which is bad in freezing and thawing. So you have to consider that point also while designing the LWC, that is lightweight concrete. In rare cases, aggregates are coated with bitumen to overcome the water absorption problem. So in rare cases, the aggregates are coated with bitumen to overcome the water absorption problem, because when you use the bitumen it will not absorb the water, or comparatively it will be less absorb the water. So next we'll go through the aerated concrete. It is produced by introducing the air into the concrete. As I told, it is the as I told in the beginning, in aerated concrete you will introduce the air into the concrete, that it may be a gas or foam. Okay, so it is also called as cellular concrete, having the voids between 0.1 mm to 1 mm in size. 0.1 mm to 1 mm in size. That is cellular concrete. It is also called as cellular concrete because it is having the voids which is between 0.1 mm to 1 mm. So two ways are there in induce the air in concrete, that is gas concrete and foamed concrete. Gas concrete and foamed concrete. So gas concrete is produced by chemical reaction in which gas is produced in the concrete. So this gas concrete is produced by chemical reaction by which the gas will be produced in the concrete. So finely divided aluminum powder is used as the gas producing agent. So here to produce the gas in the concrete they'll use the aluminum powder, finely divided aluminum powder as the gas producing agent. So its quantity is about 0.2% of weight of cement. So when you are using this aluminum powder to aluminum powder in the concrete to produce the gas in concrete, so the weight of that aluminum powder should be 0.2% of the weight of cement. The 0.2% of the weight of cement, 0.2% of weight of cement. So aluminum powder reacts with the CaOH, that is calcium hydroxide. The aluminum powder reacts with the calcium hydroxide which liberate the hydrogen bubbles, thus creating the aerated concrete. So this powdered zinc, aluminum alloy or hydrogen peroxide can also be used as the gas producing agents. Zinc, that is zinc, aluminum alloy or hydrogen peroxide can also be used to produce the gas. Foamed concrete is produced by adding the foaming agent, that is usually hydrolyzed protein or resin soaps during the mixing. Here to produce the in case of foam concrete, to produce the foam, the hydrolyzed protein or resin soaps are used during the mixing. So with the help of these the foam will be created. In some cases stable performed foam is also adding during during the mixing. Concrete of density is 300 kg per meter cube to 1100 kg per meter can be obtained from this aerated concrete. That is concrete of density having the density 300 to 1100 kg per meter cube can be achieved. So compressive strength varies from 12 MPa to 14 MPa for a concrete of density 500 kg per meter cube. So that the for aerated concrete, the compressive strength varies from 12 MPa to 14 MPa for density of concrete 500 kg per meter cube. Generally, autoclaved aerated concrete is used. The aerated concrete normally in this the autoclaved concrete is used. Autoclaved is nothing but a strong pressurized for the laboratory experiments. Autoclaved is nothing but a pressurized aerated concrete. To create that density, you have to go for autoclaved concrete. So aerated concrete has higher thermal movement, higher shrinkage and higher moisture movement compared to lightweight aggregate concrete for the same strength. This aerated concrete has higher thermal movement, higher shrinkage and higher moisture movement as compared to lightweight aggregate concrete for the same strength, because here you are creating the gas or foam into that concrete. That's why it will be having higher shrinkage and higher moisture movement. So here you can see that's why it is called as cellular concrete. Here you can see the whites. So this is the surface structure of autoclaved aerated concrete. Autoclaved aerated concretes. So these are the concrete blocks of autoclaved aerated concrete, which is produced by autoclaved aerated concretes. So next one is no fines concrete. So as its name, that is no fines, here the fine aggregate is eliminated. Only cement, coarse aggregate and water is used to produce the concrete. So this concrete has only cement, coarse aggregate and water as I told. Due to absence of fine aggregate, concrete will have large voids resulting in lightweight. So due to, as you are eliminating the fine aggregate, it will have the large voids which is resulting in lightweight. So even though there is a reduction in strength, there is no capillary movement of water, resulting low permeability and consequently more durable. So even though it has the less strength, that is reducing the strength, but there is no capillary movement of water. That's why it is it has the low permeability. So consequently more durable. So when there is no capillary movement of water, then it will result in low permeability. Hence it will be more durable. So density of concrete will be less if coarse aggregates are of single size ranging from 10 mm to 20 mm rather than well graded aggregates. So here the density of concrete will be less if coarse aggregates are of single size, that is ranging from 10 to 20 mm. If you are using rather than well graded aggregates, if you use only a single size, either it is 10 mm or 20 mm, it will be having the low density. No fines concrete with lighter coarse aggregate can get the density as low as 640 kg per meter cube. So no fine concrete with the lighter coarse aggregate can get the density as low as 640 kg per meter cube. So this in this concrete, the strength criteria depends on the cement content in the concrete than water cement ratio. So in this no fines concrete, the strength criteria depends on the cement content than the water cement ratio. That is water cement ratio, because you are eliminating the fine aggregates. So here the strength is mainly depend on the how much of quantity of cement you are using rather than the water cement ratio. So drying shrinkage is comparatively less but shrinkage takes place rapidly than conventional concrete. Here shrinkage takes place rapidly than the conventional concrete because there is no fine aggregate. It will reduce in size or shape. So thermal conductivity is also comparatively less. No fines concrete has better architectural appearance. Here you can see where the where the fine aggregate is eliminated and only the block is prepared by only cement, coarse aggregate and water. Here you can see. So this is about lightweight concrete. Thank you.